And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened.
For the first time, we get some brow involvement. I'm devastated and cannot believe her brows come to a point. That's sorrow. We want to see that. Looks like there's actually a tear on her cheek. You guys tell me if I'm right or wrong, but it looks like a tear running down her cheek. There's withdrawals at the side of her mouth and now some chin involvement. And because of her stature and because of the way she is dressed, you can see her breathing change for the first time. If you just pay attention to a couple of things, look for the emotion in her gaits as she starts to leave.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
I think she's hurt or angry, one or the other, because her steps are large. She's plodding a lot more. She's angry at them for pushing her, and I think she's angry at them for pushing her to a real tear. I think they actually did get real tears out of her. And I think that all that movement is determination. And I'll categorize. I usually talk about energy as being high or low. Energy's high. Focus, external or internal. External. Direction, sharp or scattered. All sharp. That's determination. She wants out. She's got a target. She's going for that door. I think regardless of why, there's a moment here where she is actually feeling some emotion. Don't know why.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
This is where she insulates big time. I mean, this is huge. I mean, she uses the car to do that. And I don't know what she's looking at or who she's looking at during this. Her eyes are closed a lot. And I can't believe the next question out of the guy's mouth wasn't, "You got to be kidding me, right?" He doesn't say that. And I was like, that kind of threw me. And then we're not seeing a lot of things we should be seeing with grief still. We don't see any grief muscle. We're not seeing any engagement in the forehead, a little teeny bit, not a whole lot. And then no engagement of the mentum again. I've said mentum like 40,000 times for some reason in this episode. But that's the front part of the chin where we usually see like the chin boss and some action happening there. And then she totally blows them off by walking around to the other side of the car and then having to get her stuff out of the other side. And I think she's crying. I think it could be anger, but my thing is I think she's upset because she's wishing she hadn't done this. I think if there's a real tear there, I think she's crying for herself because she's worried. She's wishing she'd never done this, and she knows it's getting bad, especially if the news is there and they're asking you questions.
How are you,
I just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
This is a great piece of behavior as far as I'm concerned. Greg, she may well have a tear down the side, but she checks for it in the wrong place. And so she goes for the center, center there, realizes, I think there's nothing there, then dusts the hands. It's like, well, I'm done then. I'm out. This is not working. I'm off. I think, Scott, she may well be going for a getaway. She may well be going, I'm going to get in my car and drive, and then goes, no, that will look terrible. That will look if I reverse out of this, that's going to look bad. I think it's either that or her mind is so, she's so in that reptilian brain that there's so much kind of, as we might call it, Chase, that amygdala hijack going on that she's forgotten that the shopping is in the back, not in the front with her, or maybe a combination of all of these things. But in the end, she has to go round to the side, grab her shopping. What she got? More mushrooms? I don't know. I don't know what she thought. I can't. I'm not a shopping bag reader. I'm not a mind reader. There's probably somebody out there. There's probably somebody who can guess what she's got. They think they have some kind of, psychic contact with the inside of the contents of the shopping bag. If you have that, I would like to know what you believe is inside that shopping bag. That would be.
Wait a minute. Spidey's calling. Yeah. Hang on.
Is he? Can I tell him? Back. I want to know.
He probably does know. That's the problem.
That's the scary part.
Ask him what card she's thinking of right now. Probably the card from a lawyer.
She's thinking of the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's all I got. That's all I got on that one. Great piece of behavior.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I think there might be a good chance she's looking up and into the sun here to get some tears going. There's a chance. Take a look at the first 10 seconds and tell me if you also think that this might look like a bad audition tape for a TV commercial. Everything's on display here. She's not making eye contact. She's facing the general direction of the cameras. Her arms are down at her sides like a performance. And it looks like she's forcing the emotion out. And there's actually a lot of reasons you see guilty people overdoing this display like that. And they tend to overdo these displays to be overly convincing because they think they need to do it how they think it should be done. They might use it as a diversion tactic to shift attention away from evidence or like an inconsistency. Then we have innocence. They might believe that if others see them as like victims of their emotions, they'll just be, they couldn't have committed that crime. That they're so emotional here. And then committing a murder on its own might create some intense cognitive dissonance, especially if the individual or person sees themselves as a good person. So then they have to do this to make themselves feel better. Fear can pretty often manifest with these severe emotional reactions, which might be masked as remorse. And that might be what we're seeing here. Murder by itself can be traumatic, even for the perpetrator. And that's not something I don't think we've said before. Murder can still be traumatic to the person that did it, to Scott's point. Like, I wish I hadn't have done this. And finally, what we said earlier, this expectation of how somebody's supposed to react after a traumatic event, and they try hard to show them all of these emotions as much as they can in a short amount of time. And guilty people, especially if they're not typically manipulative, this is what I think we're seeing here. If they're not typically manipulative throughout their life or deceptive, they might misjudge how genuine emotions are displayed and then overdo it on accident. So if they're not an expert liar, expert manipulator, they might overdo it because they're not used to doing that. I think those stomps that we're talking about, like around the car, they're at her house. I think they might be territorial, like Peaches, like the Peaches snort.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you
I
kids?
just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from? Were they picked from the property area?
I'm just asking.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through. That's
Where
what I
did the
have to
mushrooms
say.
come from?
So this statement is less rehearsed than just kind of what she has to say, and it's all I got to say about that. She moves out. She's frustrated. She's moving heavily but rapidly. I mean, she's boom, 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 trying to get through. You can see she's frustrated and angry. I don't know whether she picked the wrong mushrooms or did something, but there are a hell of a lot of red flags here to say, if I had picked the wrong mushrooms, I would say, look, I picked the wrong thing. I poisoned my family and I am devastated. I wouldn't say, boom, 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 keep shifting gears and then get angry when they push me to the point where I actually had a tear. Just me. I think this is suspicious behavior, and I'll just leave it at that.
A good denial. I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything.
Great denial. I didn't do anything. It's a shame, therefore, that she starts it with, yes, I say I didn't do anything.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything.
If she didn't do the yes, I say, that would be a fantastic denial. So yeah, net of that, it's not a good denial because, yeah, you can say you didn't do anything, but what did you actually do? That's all I got on that one. Would have been a great denial if she'd have actually given a great denial. Not a good denial at all.
Let me tell you about emotional connection really quick. Men are more likely to be compartmentalizers, where their emotions kind of detach emotionally during the act and many times after. Women are more emotionally entangled with their victim. This is from the FBI. Given the relationship context, leading to more emotion-driven offenses. This also goes into post-offense behavior. So let's talk about this really quick. Men After the crime, they might flee the scene or engage in behaviors to conceal the crime. And women are more likely to express remorse immediately or even confess, especially if the crime was not premeditated. So it's pretty interesting here.
And I hope with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through.
Yeah, Don's dead. I think she's talking about Ian. She's got the dead person wrong, or the live person. Well, both of them, the live and the dead person, wrong. So it's not that I don't think she's paying attention. I think she's got a lot on her mind right now. She's really worried about being caught, and I think she's getting a little bit confused about that. So but she better be concerned about him living, because that's one more life sentence she's going to have to serve.
I like it.
There you go. Thanks, Mark.
It took me time. Worth it.
Leave me alone now, please.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through. That's
Where
what I
do the
have to say.
mushrooms come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from, Erin? Can you tell us? What meal did you cook them? Did you eat the same meal, Erin?
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.